So Wells Fargo just increased their checking account fees, and if you bank with them, you need to know about this right now. The monthly fee went from 10 to 15s, and they also changed how you can avoid paying that fee. I'm going to explain exactly what changed, show you how to avoid these fees if you want to stay with Wells Fargo, and also give you some alternatives if you're thinking about switching banks. Let's get right into it. Alright, so let me start by explaining exactly what changed with Wells Fargo checking accounts. This affects their most popular account called the Everyday Checking Account, which is what most people have if they bank with Wells Fargo. The monthly maintenance fee used to be 10 per month. Now it's 15s per month. That's a 50% increase, which is pretty significant. Over a full year, that's $180 in fees instead of $120. So you're paying an extra $60 per year if you can't avoid the fee. Now here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. You can avoid this monthly fee if you meet certain requirements. Wells Fargo has always had ways to waive the fee, but they also changed those requirements when they increased the fee. So even if you were avoiding the $10 fee before, you might not be able to avoid the $50 fee now without making some changes. Let me break down exactly what those waiver requirements are, because this is really important. The first way to avoid the $50 monthly fee is by maintaining a minimum daily balance in your account. This means you need to keep at least a certain amount of money in your checking account every single day of the month. If your balance drops below that amount, even for one day, you get charged the fee. Here's what changed. The old requirement was $500 minimum daily balance. The new requirement is $1,000 minimum daily balance. So Wells Fargo doubled the amount you need to keep in your account. Now let me be honest with you about why this is actually not a great option for most people. If you keep $1,000 sitting in a Wells Fargo checking account, that money is earning basically zero interest, maybe 0.01%, which works out to like 10 cents per year. But if you took that same $1,000 and put it in a high-yield savings account at a different bank, you could earn 4.5% interest, which is $45 per year. So by keeping $1,000 in Wells Fargo, just to avoid a $50 monthly fee, you're actually losing money. You're avoiding $180 in fees per year, but you're missing out on about $45 in interest you could be earning. Plus, most people need that money for other things and don't want to just leave $1,000 sitting there doing nothing. The second way to avoid the monthly fee is through direct deposit, and this is probably the better option for most people. If you have your paycheck directly deposited into your Wells Fargo checking account, you can waive the fee. The good news is that this requirement did not change. You still need direct deposits totaling at least $500 per month, same as before. So if you get paid through direct deposit and your paycheck is at least $500 per month, you're fine. The fee will be waived automatically. Now here's something important to understand. It has to be actual direct deposit from your employer or from government benefits like Social Security. You can't just transfer $500 from your savings account or from another bank and expect that to count. Wells Fargo's system can tell the difference between a direct deposit and a regular transfer. If you're currently not using direct deposit, setting it up is usually pretty simple. You just need to give your employer your Wells Fargo account number and routing number, and they'll switch your paycheck over. Most employers can do this in 1 or 2 pay periods. There's actually a third way to avoid the fee that a lot of people don't know about. If you're between the ages of 17 and 24, Wells Fargo will waive the monthly fee automatically. You don't need to maintain any minimum balance or have direct deposit. They just waive it based on your age. This is actually pretty common at big banks. They want to attract younger customers and get them in the habit of banking with them, so they waive fees for students and young adults. Once you turn 25, though, you'll need to meet one of the other requirements, or you'll start getting charged the 15 monthly fee. If you're a student but older than 24, you might also qualify for fee waivers through a student checking account. Wells Fargo has different account types, and some are specifically designed for college students with no monthly fees. So if you're in school, it's worth calling and asking if they have a student account you can switch to. Now let me talk about some other fees that Wells Fargo changed at the same time, because the monthly maintenance fee isn't the only thing that went up. Their out-of-network ATM fee increased from $2.50 to $3 per transaction. This is the fee you pay when you use an ATM that's not owned by Wells Fargo. Keep in mind that the ATM owner is also probably charging you a fee, so you could be paying $5 or $6 total just to withdraw cash. If you use ATMs frequently, this adds up fast. Let's say you use an out-of-network ATM twice a month. That's $72 per year in fees just for accessing your own money. That's crazy if you think about it. Overdraft fees stayed at $35, which is still really high, but at least they didn't increase it. Wells Fargo did make one positive change here. They now give you until the end of the next business day to deposit money and bring your account positive before they charge the overdraft fee. So if you accidentally overdraft in the morning, you have until the next day to fix it. So the big question is it even worth staying with Wells Fargo after these fee increases? Let me give you my honest take on this. If you can easily avoid the fees through direct deposit and you value having physical branches you can go to, then staying with Wells Fargo is probably fine. They have over 700 branches across the country, so chances are there's one near you. Their mobile app is decent, and their checking account works fine for basic banking. But if you're having trouble avoiding the fees, or if you're frustrated by these increases, there are much better options available in 2026. A lot of online banks have checking accounts with no monthly fees at all, regardless of your balance or whether you have direct deposit. Here's something else to consider. Wells Fargo has had a lot of problems in the past. They had that huge scandal a few years ago where employees were opening fake accounts in customers' names without permission. They've paid billions in fines and settlements. So there's also a trust issue here for some people. Let me tell you about some alternatives that might be better than Wells Fargo, especially if you're tired of dealing with these fees. Ally Bank has a checking account with 0 monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements, and they reimburse up to $10 per month in ATM fees. So even if you use out-of-network ATMs, you're getting that money back. Plus, their savings account pays 4.5% interest, which is way better than Wells Fargo. Discover Bank also has a checking account with no monthly fees and no minimums. They reimburse up to $30 per month in ATM fees, which is even better than Ally. Their customer service is excellent. I've never waited more than 30 seconds to talk to a real person when I call them. Capital One 360 is another good option. No monthly fees, and they actually have some physical locations in major cities if you want the option of going to a branch occasionally. They're not as widespread as Wells Fargo, but they're there if you need them. The main downside of these online banks is that they don't have many or any physical branches. If you frequently need to deposit cash, that could be a problem. But most people don't deposit cash very often anymore. You can set up direct deposit for your paycheck, you can deposit checks by taking a picture with your phone, and you can withdraw cash from any ATM. Here's what I personally recommend. If you have direct deposit set up at Wells Fargo and you're already avoiding the fee that way, and you're happy with their service, then you don't necessarily need to switch. The fee increase doesn't affect you if you're already avoiding it. But if you're paying the monthly fee, or if you're only avoiding it by keeping $1,000 in your account, then I would seriously consider switching to one of these online banks. You'll save money on fees, you'll earn more interest on your savings, and honestly, the online banking experience is usually better anyway. The only reason to stay with Wells Fargo at this point is if you really need physical branches and you can avoid the fees through direct deposit. Otherwise, there are just better options available. Let me know down in the comment section if you bank with Wells Fargo and whether you're planning to stay or switch after these changes. I'm curious what other people are thinking, and if this video helped you understand what's going on with these fees, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more banking content. I cover all the major changes from big banks so you don't get caught off guard, but as always, thank you so much for watching. Take action if you need to, whether that's setting up direct deposit or switching to a different bank. I'll see you in the next one.